Witam wszystkich serdecznie, nazywam się Przelaskowski Łukasz. Hello everyone, my name is Lukas Przelaskowski. I'm a writer, I'm from Poland, so this moment I'm living in Netherlands. And just one moment, I need also putting to promotion something my another places. So that was be Instagram. And yeah, I can try it this moment putting it on Instagram. So I want to be sure everything is fine. And another form I want transmission on my TikTok account. So it's a little bit patient, please. Yes, in my Instagram and TikTok. Oh. I love movies, life. My book, and I'll be reading my book, The Adventures of Browar. Adventures, that is fantasy book. Okay. Okie dokie. And I must also add that small information. Right. I'm a writer, so you know I did that. If somebody wants to ask to this moment, please ask. It's not a problem. In all transmission, what we have it, I not be sure can everyone listen to this moment, me, so we'll see. So this moment I transmission live YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. In just one moment I start also on I live in Netherlands. Okay. So please just tell me where you're from. O, jest gotowanie NL. Cześć. Hey. Welcome. First person. It was a representation with the channel gotowanie in NL, so it was translated to cooking on Netherlands. Greetings. I'm reading my new fantasy book today. It's only one chapter because if you wanted to know it, all books, you must buy it and reading to self. So that was be a small promotion. And we'll see what happened at how many people be interested in that. I know that we have afternoon, of course it depends what time, and it depends what time everyone who watching that have in private, because someone probably it was be from United States, someone else maybe it was living in Asia, so we'll see. And how popular and interesting that thematic we have online. I don't want it too much spoke also because it's I must be careful for my voices before I start reading the book, and but I must prepare information on TikTok, and I only finish writing the text and then I start to play live, and then I start reading my book. So, and just one moment please, only I got it, must have the information. The Adventures of Browar. Alright, and the book is available on Amazon. Available. English was really strange. It depends what we want to use it accent. From England or United States, of course. Every province had another dialect, so how available. Oh, this is original. Available. Alright. Okay. Look to my website and great, 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 great. Look to and oh, I not be sure. Can I have image spaces TikTok? And so I tried something. I must delete it probably. And not be sure. Can I add it link? Maybe I cannot add it the link to website. Yeah, rules. It's rules. So we must accept that. What we have the rules. Yeah, I see. I cannot add it. Website. I think so. Just one moment. We'll see. This is that. And just was, yeah, definitely I cannot add it. How it was dot com. Oh, that was be fine. I find it another solution, and I think yeah, I got it. But I live in Netherlands. I reading money. Okie dokie. So it's almost ready. It's almost ready, my friends. It's almost ready. Yeah, definitely. And we'll see what happened in the next. And only I just added, yeah, extra hertz. Great, great. And okay, we carried it, and we have it. How it was. Amazon. Okay. Okay. I think I can use it. Yeah, that was I think the best solution when I use it. I cannot use it. It's small places to edit. It's all information, and on TikTok, if someone can see it that. I not see somebody who want to spoke with me this moment. It's fine. I have it a lot time promotion this moment, but we'll see. Yeah, not too much, really. A lot of time to this moment, but only 1 hour, maybe two. It's maximum. Okay, so I prepare Browar. Okay. So I prepare. Okay. All right. So we got it. All right, we carried that, and now on the, yeah, I must also change that for my connection. Yeah, that will be fine. And almost, yeah, I got it. All right. I'm back. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. I tried putting this moment my phone to that places. And how many people we have now? It's not too many, but maybe coming soon. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is heavy phone. This is heavy phone. All right. I must prepare something new concept, because everyone who see at this moment in my camera must see exactly me. It's minimum my face. All right, and so I must changes that phone. I changes here. It's not too heavy, and this phone is really much more heavy. Okay. Okie dokie. So, are you ready? Are you ready to listen? The new book, fantasy book. Fantasy book. When action it was happened in a 21st century. So this century, what we live now, and we have the one hero, and this is that book what I want to reading for you. And the title of the book, it was The Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis, Volume 1. I think the design, it was really nice, green colors with the deep greens and shine the greens. We have information in the first part about that what can expect for you, and this is something what I call portals, and the portals it was opened if you have special medallions, and the medallions have only the people and another clans who living in secret places on Earth and another planets. And if you have the medallion, you can open the special portal, special gate, and then you can go to another clans, another worlds when living another imagination creation, um, people or another creatures or another clans. And what you can expect in that book. In that book you can expect the word the dragons, the word werewolves, the word vampires, the word also the dwarves, the words leprechauns, the words siren, and many others, elves, orcs. So really a lot different clan, also angels. So if someone liked the books fantasy, so this is the last book what I public this year, 26 March 2023, on Amazon. So if you're checking the Adventures of Browar only in Amazon, you can buy it all world when this doesn't matter when you're living, because Amazon print the book and sending to you home only when you buy it. Much more information you can find in this book on my website, my website company, because I'm owner company publish house Lucas Frankenstein, special name company because I'm from town Ząbkowice Śląskie, who have that name to before finish the Second War, so to 1945, and then it changes for Polish. So to 1945, the town have the name Frankenstein. So that way I choose the special nick and pseudonym name, and also I that give it to name my company. My company who was a publishing house, Lucas Frankenstein. And there is all information also about that book. So today I want reading something chapter, first chapter with that book. You can know it a little bit much more about that book, and I think automatically you'll be much more interesting what you can expect in that book, because it's really interesting if someone liked books with thematic Tolkien or Mrs. Rowling, or even probably someone who liked the movie or game or the books The Witchers. So that was created the Mr. Sapkowski in the books and all story about The Witcher. That what we know it with the games, that what we know it with movies and with Netflix. But this is something small difficult, because I also not only imagination my and creation something creating interesting thematic, I also created something much more bigger, I think so, because this is on the first part. And it's nice to have that book, because if you like adventure, you can also traveling with that book for to the places when have adventure the heroes with that book, because actually it was happening in that century. So that means it's you can go to all countries in Europe when all heroes have a great adventures, like the Switzerland, Poland, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, except. So it was really creation beautiful plan for someone who like adventure, and this moment you can do it that adventure with the book and see it that original places what you have in the book. So that same situation we have in the Rowling and with Harry Potter, except because you can go to the station and you see when the train always every year ride to Hogwarts. So this moment you can go to the places when the adventure have the Borvar with, yeah, with another persons with that books. And what is also interesting with that book, maybe I a little bit read to synopsis, I think so, so you can much more know it about that book. So I reading synopsis what we have in the last pages, so probably that be much more information for you about that book, fantasy book, what I have at this moment. And so listen, Borvar Akatrapper is a half-vampire, half-man trained to fight evil. He protects a descendant of the Atlantis clan, Thomas, from werewolves and other agents of dark power who want to draw him to their side. Borvar's task is to bring Thomas alive to a clan convention in Sweden. I not be sure can you good hear me, so I little bit putting too much more volume. And what is happening for the next moment? The young student learns the secret history of fight between good and evil, of his family, and as well as of other clans representative of Earth and other planets, including dwarves, dragons, yeti, leprechauns, mermaids, vampires, and angels, who wander through magical portals, gradually joining his team. Brave warriors undertake an unique fight against the dangers, solve riddles, and even face betrayal. Fortunately, a ray of hope which can lead to victory flourishes slowly in the form of love. So this is small synopsis about that book, what you can find it here, of course. And the book have 300. This is how it was. This is very hard. Yeah, in the first pages. So I think so. Somebody who like really hard paper with the pages. So this is very good because you can have that for a lot years. So it was be also stability for the table or for something else places, also stability and much more safety when you packing for something adventure when you want to go to vacation. And how many pages? 304 pages have that book. This is first part, so volume 1. And yes, and we can try it to reading the book this moment. We'll see what happened. I just only checking I believe it my voices. It was really good to hear in Instagram and TikTok or YouTube. And this moment I not see nobody in there, but maybe someone coming for the next time. I try to do it, that transmission maybe also in evening. I see it on YouTube. It's a small yeah, I must change it only that. All right, I must be a contact with a live, and I not be sure. All right, I only checking in my YouTube channel what can happen it. I believe it. Everything was fine. All right, so let we back to the book and try it to reading what we have in the book. If I have it something problem with voices and you something not understand, please send a message. If I see it that, then I try it to something changes. Yeah, let's try it to read the book. And I also added something extra material. You be know it what I reading. Okay, so I reading this moment that book. Alright, and but I must find it in English version. Maybe it was be much better. I think so. Yeah, that was be much better. So I only remove that, and I share with screen the adventures. So it was be in original English version, and that is much more better. See that on my channel YouTube. Alright. In Twitch this moment I not see this moment nobody. Maybe someone coming. It's something beautiful day. Then I have much more people who be interested in the books. Why not? Why not? Who not love the reading the book? Someone love the reading the book. If you love the reading the book, you're that place is what must be. So this moment I be reading the book, In my book, it was the name, I repeat, The Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis. You can buy that on Amazon. You can also find much more information on my pages. The company publisher house, so it was named the Lucas Frankenstein Past.com. So let's try to reading the beautiful book with beautiful history and with beautiful design. The reflections. Maybe I start with reflections. How it was start reflections. So you can see that it's reflections, and before start reflections, we have it, of course, subtitle, first pages with nice logo, my company. So it was here. So I putting that for camera. Everyone can see that on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, or somewhere else. Then we have, of course, information about all chapters. That what you see at this moment, the chapters. Yeah, it's nice to know it, that what we have at the chapters. And then we can see it that reflections, so that means it's before start chapter 1. So that was the reflections. You can see it this moment. All right, everyone see it. That it's, I think it's no sense to watch too much. We open it for the first pages. First pages, The Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis, my book, who was published this year. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can find it all information on my pages, lucasfrankenstein.com, and where is all links and pictures and movies about that book. So, reflections. We started. Imagining. Yes, imagining. So every time when I try to reading that first word, imagining, in my memory back to that beautiful song, imagining what I think everyone to know it. So, imagining a night soon about to the end. Imagining a night soon about to end. Clouds in the sky, their shapes glittering with warriors' shades ranging from navy blue, through dark blue to a gray. The rising sun reveals itself slightly pink, and then light yellow, orange, and ultimately blood red. Many a painter would make efforts to acquire such true colors, full creative patience, clearly made by magic, that and powerful nature. Nature so much influenced by mankind, attempting to curb it like a wild horse, extort all its natural resources, and conquer it to satisfy its daily needs, can still surprise and juxtapose with, for instance, climate changes. Nature has not revealed all its secrets yet. They can be good or evil, symbol of religious significance that can either unite or kill human beings, and strangely have been developing a harmony of order and peace known as wildlife. Wildlife, yes. Okay, so the next page. It is obvious that nature exists and follows its own way like clockwork. To interfere with that changes its cycle and may result in unpleasant consequences for ones who interfere. You can even say we the people change the cycle of the harmony according to the eternal time that has normalized for billions of forms of life on Earth. Earth has become a kind of guideline for making since the time of Homer, father of epic poetry, Copernicus, who stopped the sun and moved earth, Christopher Columbus, who discovered America, Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, and many more scientists, scholars, travelers, and others who were able to face the world and its nature, breaking the harmony to the blade, new vision, touch, colors, theories into humans' brains, thus triggers time anew for the new generation. Along with the development of civilization, the world of now on Earth shrinks, and we look into the universe and try to identify the new forms of life, of place of inhabit when the Earth will no longer be suitable for living. Now, when we judge the world we know by the value of money, though we prove there is nothing else apart from that. Does this mean the world is ruled by money and good? God is money. Religions is just the three-letter name of a leasing company and its share of rising of feeling value to be traded. The Bible says God created the world understood today as the universe including nature on earth, which means a certain harmony, a created mankind who, looking from today's perspective about it. Then, what affects life? God, nature, or mankind? Remember, there exists something called time. So interesting to Albert Einstein. Time had exist before the world was created. Science, God, had always been and the very word existence means the functioning except the existence of life, thus time as well. Man wants to understand time, to refract it, to find the way to master it, to break its code. He hoped to find out how to go beyond it and utilize it to change fate which existing and be fend from in the name of money of look for the elixir of the so desired immortality. That this is proof there is nothing after death, and that is why we are afraid of it and want to avoid it. The meaning of the very word life must be considered from a material and non-material perspective. We can assume it represents the word of God, who created man in his own image, and the outset everything is wild but established and develops as does mankind. At a certain moment, the equilibrium may be violated, and history reveals numerous examples of evil such as wars, concentration camps, labor camps. People change to animals and abandon their human value, become wild. Others abandon humanity, lose their rationality, dignity, reasons, fight and give into their fate. But those who struggle to survive must turn to beasts that are intensive to everything to stay alive, defend themselves, A for an A, eye for the eye. Does the not material world exist? Is it, is it separate from the material world by a closed door? Maybe two worlds exist side by side and do not intervene on an every basis. You talk about them, watch them on television, hear about them on the radio, read about them in social media and learn about different cases of crossing the border between the two worlds and the existence of forces we are not really familiar with. So if non-material world exists, is it the only one? just only looking. Yeah, maybe continue reading. I can be most interesting to say good and evil in the exist, and for sure they do. Hidden and concealed are on both sides of the words, irrespective of their number, and have been fighting each other since the dawn of time. Whereas nature is linked between the two, as it is, has always been, and will be, wild and struggles to survive, providing the power and shelter for both forces, defined as the divine ones. The divine because in the Greek mythology there were good and evil gods, and in the Bible a devil is a fallen angel also created by God. Yeah. Different groups have emerged among people that still exist and develop, and they may stand on either side. Some are greedy for power, money, domination over earth, or even the universe. They take advantage, advantage of the offer of evil of will fight those who would to not be acquiescent because of their humbleness, and the reconciliation sorry reconciliation with nature. To simplify, the evil want to take control over the world, and the good fight to save their freedom. Is there anything more unnatural, inhuman, wild, uncontrollable than that? Sorry for my language, but maybe I'm not specialist, but if you really much more better know it English, so definitely much more better you'll be reading self that book what I reading now. And this is a book what I published this year on Amazon. It was named The Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis, and you can buy that book on my Amazon or on my website, Lucas Frankenstein, my company. It was the publishing house because I'm owner company publishing house Lucas Frankenstein. So if you like the fantasy book with the dragons, vampires, werewolves, trolls, elves, and orcs, and many another creatures, where we have situation the battle between good and evil, so you find it many more information and interesting history on in that book, and also vampires. So now I stop reading reflections in my book. So this moment I start reading in chapter 1 in that book and my fantasy book, and the chapter 1 it was called Fog, yeah, the fog. So it was, you can see at this moment what is creation in the chapter. Please one, this is the chapter 1, this book. You can see it that if you like the fantasy book. So that was you can expect in the first design graphic with the chapter 1, the book, The Adventures of Browar, history, the half vampire, half human who fight with evil, and many and in that history you see it a lot beautiful places, not only in the earth, also in another planets, another places, another clans like the dragons, angels, dwarves, and leprechauns, except something clans lives here in earth, but that was the magic places, because people cannot see that places. Yeah, and we'll see the story when the Borvar helps the Thomas rescue to the and go with him to convention clans in Sweden, because the Thomas have only special power to stopping the evil what coming to the earth. So the chapter 1, the book The Adventures of Browar, a descendant clan of Atlantis, volume 1, chapter 1, it was named Folk. And every chapter start with something special dedication, what I like it. And when I choose this first one, it was text who said the Bob Dylan, and I think this is also important not only for me but also for all people who like it thematic with the books, because it's always opened much more imagination for the people. I must prepare that my voices. Okay, so now it's a little bit better. Right, so we back to the chapter 1, and we'll see what happened for the next steps. Never extinguish the light of hope, even if the sky get tired of blue, said one day the Bob Dylan. A clock tower of Wrocław City Halls was about to strike midnight. The wind chases clouds across the sky, uncovering the full moon, not bone white, but slightly red because of the volcanic dust drifting from Iceland. It had rained for 5 days, but that very evening the rain stopped. The air cooled down, and fog covered the city as a layer of spilled milk of thick spiderweb. The range of visibility was barely 1 meter. The full moon could only be seen from the top floors of skyscrapers. It was Sunday. There were just 5 cars moving in the dark streets, so it seemed as if the city was asleep or even abandoned by its inhabitants. Streets and narrow passages were marked by blurred, blended yellow and orange street lamps. The fog descended a bit after the last stroke of midnight. A moment later, as the clock bell fell silent, the sudden and horrifying howl of wolves and coyotes, coupled with the squeaks and screams of birds, rose into the air. The roar of tigers, lions, bears, and zebras shattered the peaceful night. Animals ran around the pens, attaching the bars and making sounds that were difficult to identify. The sounds of panicky animals from Wrocław Zoo could be heard for a few kilometers. The reminders faded away in the fog. A zoo security cabin in Zygmunt Wróblewski Street, just like the zoo, is situated opposite the Centenary Hall. That night, 2 security guards, both elderly fellows, were on duty. The next round was scheduled for 2 o'clock, so they had an alarm clock set and dozed off. When the clock struck midnight and the panicky sound of the animals burst out, one of the guards fell off his hair, and the other jumped off a bed and bolted towards surveillance screens. His eyes were full of fear as he looked at his shivering mate getting up from the floor. Mirek, what the fuck? What was it? He asked in a trembling voice, slightly stuttering as if his vocal cords had dried out. Mirek, after having fallen down, was temporarily more shocked than his colleagues, so he was only able to shake his head and shrug, meaning he did not know. He did it not know. Stan took a look and the imagination. Stan took Stan, yeah, that was what had the name, the one with the person, the Guardians. Stan took a look, and the images recorded big cameras located all over the zoo, but the fog was still too thick to see anything. The animals were still crazy and frantic, so he called the deputy director, who was on a trip somewhere out of the city. Jarek, a newly employed deputy director, moved to Wrocław just after graduation. The zoo underwent a lot of changes when a few years early the former managers, a married couple, were sacked. It was obvious Jarek would get the job because he had recently completed his postgraduate studies in veterinary science and environment protection, had worked at some other zoological gardens in Poland, and the zoo's director was his uncle, so he was a perfect candidate. Yeah, what's up? Jarek answered his phone in a sleepy voice. Good evening, stammered Stan. Sorry to wake you, but the animals have gone mad, and we don't know what is going on. Can you send someone here? The deputy director, who was not fully awake, could at last hear not only the security office voices, but also a terrifying noise in the background. For a while, the animals could sense an approaching flood, caused by the existing rainfall nobody knew anything about, and were trying to save their lives. Listen first of all, calm down and walk around the site. Pay special attention to the Szczytnik Bartoszowice dike, look for signs of flooded spots and check the area by the summer restaurants where we got the wedding reception party. I will call the guys to take care of the animals soon, said Jarek. Well, the waiter is a fool, so I will get there in half an hour, maybe later. I am in Kozanów, you know. Stan listened to instruction carefully, and now could see his colleague's pale face. He stood motionless and stared out of the window into a space filled with misty fumes and the noise made by animals. Stan hung up the phone, approached Mirek, and touched his arm. I am scared. Sometimes something must be out there. That sound is not natural, said Mirek. Stan finally recovered. It seemed he had done this job all his life. He was almost 6 feet tall, well-built, broad-shouldered. He had a thick moustache, and his face was wrinkled, winspeed, weather-beaten after years of work as a conscientious security officer. He was experienced guard, but tonight he felt fear creeping over him. Yes, I know. I got scared too, said Stan, without hesitation. It is a bit strange, but Jarek said it could be a flood after the rainfall, so the animals are afraid. We should go and check from on-site first and then from the summer restaurant side. They have a wedding reception. There are probably will serve us one for the road. Get some torches and let's go. Jarek will come in half an hour. in half an hour, and he will send some fellows to calm down the animals. Mirek was about 40, born in Wrocław, and had lost his job and Volvo when crisis hit Poland. He was rather slim but not a fragile person who easily gives and becomes addicted or depressed. He took up different jobs, sometimes better, sometimes worse, but not permanent. He decided to enroll of some vocational courses because his family of six needed support. On it was only him and his wife to bring home the bacon. It was a stroke of fate. He completed a course and became a security guard. At least this is a story that he told when submitting documents and interview. Mirek looked at Stan and sighed deeply, as if he had held his breath for a couple of minutes. She showed he had calmed down and pulled himself together. First, they agreed to go to the just renovated Japan's Gate, situated on the other side next to an office building, to find out the review level, and then they would carry on the summer restaurant. When leaving the security hut, they shut the door and left a message saying they were doing the round. The fog dimmed the beams of the torches. The sound from the pens and the cage forces them to walk side by side. On their way, they tried to figure out whether they had passed the children's zoo. The path to the other end of the zoo was straight, and although it normally took the 50 minutes to reach the opposite end, now they walked very slowly, and minutes turned to hours. They passed a car parked on their left, and then they were certain they had already walked by the children's zoo because the donkey's pen was on the right, but it was impossibility to recognize its sound. They continued up to the junction near other pens, one of the ones occupied by a Patagonian Mara. Mirek, listen, we have to check everything careful. Stan stopped and said, I go straight on, and you turn left first and then go ahead to the restaurant, just in case. We got walkie-talkie and mobile phones, okay? Mirek had only been working at the zoo for a month, and it was his second job as a guard. Even though he was terrified, he nodded and moved forward, disappearing into a grey, misty night. Stan passed two other pens, unoccupied by lambs. Then he turned left. The last straight, the running to the office building, which he did not see yet, seemed easy enough, and it was just a matter of time to cover it. Suddenly the zoo calmed down as if by the touch of magic wand, and dead silence filled the air. Stan came to a dead stop and his mind was blank. He tried to penetrate the surrounding void and find reasons for the sounded silence. He moved slowly, hearing his boots on the crunchy sand. He felt he was not alone. His mind and conscience prompted someone must be watching him. Keeping the torch in his left hand, he carefully opened his pistol holder. He had a gas gun license issued by the director. Yeah, couple seconds please, I need something for my voices. Just one moment, I back. Okay, I'm back. Unfortunately, I have a limit with my voices. What can I use it? So that's why I cannot too much spoke, and that's why I only reading today one chapter with my book, The Adventures of Browar and Descendant of the Clan Atlantis, Volume 1. I see this moment one person who joined to me in my channel YouTube. So this is my father, Edward. Hi, Dad. Thank you. You are come and you are with me. So thank you also for everyone who's standing with me and won't listen to my book. If you want to also know it a little bit much more about my book, you find it that all information in website lucasfrankensteinpast.com. This is a website my company. I am owner company publishing house, and this book you can buy it also on Amazon. So it was named The Adventures of Browar, and this is fantasy book. So I will continue this moment when I stopping the last time. He felt drops of sweat streaming down his forehead, shoulders, and back. He could barely breathe. He didn't release the air from his lungs, trying not to break the silence. He slowly moved forward bit by bit, ready to use his gun and shout, either to express an order or in fear. He was not sure which one yet. A building with a high roof and a renovated Japanese gate emerged slowly from the sheet of the darkness. He went straight ahead, not even looking back, just right and left. Then, suddenly, he heard a sound of a squeaking door, so shrill that it would have frightened a dead man. Stan could feel his stomach jump with fear. Then the air was filled with a strong, hoarse voice coming through the open door. "Freeze, whoever you are," said Trapper. "I have a gun, and I will not hesitate to use it." Stan gulped to respond quickly. "God damn it, Bogdan, it's me, Stan. Where the fuck you got the gun from? Didn't aim at me." Bogdan was one of the oldest employees. He was almost 60 and would often stay overnight in the zoo, although he owned a flat. He seemed to have put down roots in the zoo and swore to never leave there. He held a PhD in biology and loved helping with taking care of animals. People said he was a bit crazy and sometimes talked nonsense, but everybody liked him anyway, and his story of adventures all around the world. He was quiet, a Muslim, and countless scars and old wounds, and he was very strong. Nobody could win Nobody could win an arm wrestling competition against him, not even young Jim Lowers, who would give up after a couple of seconds. Hard work and pain hardened the body and soul, and his were so matured that he cold knock, two opponents out. If a blink of an eye, you could easily recognize him, by his voice and the funny way he dressed. He was like a hippie combined with a trapper, curly white hair, checked street, and belt with a small knife attached to it, a pack containing different trinkets, a cowboy hat and boots, allegedly from crocodile skin, and finally white leg trousers. Now, coming closer, Stan saw a man who looked terrified and whose eyes were filled with a strange uncertainty and terror, as if he knew something but don't know what to believe it. But what great treat could it be that would arouse such unusually emotion in the 21st century? Bogdan could see everything clear now. He looked around, lowered his double-barreled rifle, and said in a low voice, "Stan, I am terribly sorry. Come, don't say anything, just come in quickly." Stan rushed inside. Bogdan shut the door and locked it in. He climbed the stairs, checking if the windows were closed. Following Stan smelled a scent of incense. The boat reached an attic. There was a small pulpit there, and there were binoculars on the tables. A lit cigarette returned to its owner's fingers. The guard didn't know what to say. Everything was too insane. It would be a senseless to regard everything that had happened that night as normal and real. He was expecting to hear, "We've got you," as everything would turn out, but a crafted illusion. But it was not the case. Bogdan anxiously stared for a while, trying to break through the fog with the binoculars in front of his eyes, and turning around as if to spot things he had seen before. He hung the gun over his shoulder. He knew companions stood still and waited for something to happen. He assumed Trapper had gone crazy with his age and of course with the bizarre water and behavior of the animals. After a few minutes, Stan dared to speak. "Bogdan, I know this fucking damned days, but it's a total miss today. I called Yarek. He'll be here in 20 minutes, and promised to send a few guys down to help, and to inspect the zoo to see if there is a flood bothering our lovely pets. If you had seen a shady, armed character, you could have called us. You know, our number and the police number, to avoid taking the rifle. What happened?" Bogdan's hoarse voices sounded like a pirate from the movies on an uncle telling stories about distant lands. It seems the world of imagination crossed the border and entered Stan's real world. Bogdan continued quietly, slowly, and confidently. I turned 60 quite a few years ago. I have experienced a lot in my lifetime. Worked hard in many places, not to gain honors, but for the knowledge and fascination for the world which is absorbed with my sight, hearing, and all sense. I didn't want to lose my beats. I wanted to me memorize everything and convert into a knowledge and research. As a kid, I left for the States with my parents. I could have had better life there, but would I be happy as I'm here? For sure, there were places and situation it what I'd want to experience again, but I afraid everything bad I I gone through return. Mhm. Momencik. Muszę troszkę cukierka przegryźć, żeby głos polepszył mi się. Jeszcze. Sorry for my voices, but I need something sweet for what helped me continue reading that book. Sorry for my dialects. Sometimes I have horrible reading, I know it, but I'm not specialist. I tried only small promotion my book. I believe that you who's sitting in the second side, you probably know it much more better, the English. So if you buy the book, this fantasy book, The Adventures of Browar, you understood much more better when you self start to reading that book. So I will continue. Yeah, yeah, I finish only eating that small sweet. Okay. Stan listened to this carefully, looking at the surrounding and at Trapper. He could not trust him as he had a gun, and his behavior violated a safety rules. I understand. Nobody said life's gonna be easy, said Stan. Everyone has to choose their own way. Although fortune can play tricks on you, it did suggest that we go downstairs, turn to the lights on, have some hot tea, and put your rifle away because you may pull the trigger by accident, and we don't want that, do we? He glanced at the old fellow and reached for the gun to be given back. Trapper clenched his fingers around the gun strap, adopting a strong and rigid posture. You think I've gone crazy? I can't tell, replied Bogdan. I'm not able to explain everything. As the time goes by quickly, there is not much time left. But is need but in this world there are things forgotten by us long ago, the things we do not believe it in, but and the very moment they heard Mirek on the walkie-talkie. His voice was full of fear. He spoke in terribly squeaky, high, pitched voices, and if he were soon to die, he seemed to cry, "Stan, are you there?" His voice soon sounded shaky, like he'd been crying. "Jesus, make me strong, giving strength to my family. Stan, it's Mirek. For heaven's sake, say something. Let me live. They need me. I knew something must be wrong." Stan and Bogdan stood still. The voice sounded unreal, just like a recording, but it, but it was happening here and now. The voice begged for help, but against what? "Pick up, quickly, and ask where he is." Trumpet pulled himself together. "Tell him to hide in a safe places as soon as possible, and the highest ground, far from doors and windows. Now, quickly! Stan picked up the receiver as if ordered by a sergeant, and repeated Bogdan's words. "Done. I am the summer restaurant," replied Mirek. "Jesus, what happened here? I don't know what it was. I am a cold store. God, I must have returned. Call for help. Save me." They called here a walkie-talkie of signal and silence again. Stan looked at his watch. It was some 30 minutes after midnight. He took his mobile phone and started dialing 911. "You think I did not try?" The old hippie glanced at him crookedly. "They accepted my message, but now they have their hands full with the flood. They said the water broke levees in Kozanów, Pszepole, and other places in Wrocław as well. The police have sent more patrols down there to be vigilant. I could hear them launching at my story. A naive old guy. One fellow who used the work here was once attached by some knife man downtown in a market square, and he and 3 more people was suffered injuries, waited for the police to come for more than half an hour. Not only that, the victims were able to follow the knife man, so they would disappear into the thin air. Good that they did. The policemen simply passed by us if the drunk knife men were ordinary pedestrians. What do you think they do when they find out the animals are going crazy? Your colleagues locked himself a cold store, and another one is running around with his rifle?" Stan was already connected and spoke on the phone, giving his personal details and relating the recent occurrence, and, of course, whispering whispering the information about Bogdan and his rifle. "Go it. A patrol will be sent soon. They'll arrive and the security hat and the main gate, so please wait there," said the policewoman at the other end. It made that some time as most of people are involved in fighting the flood and Kozanova and other places, they said to her colleagues in the background. "It seems today even guards on duty party and the weekend." "I told you," said Trapper. "But anyway, what about the security guards who always used to be here?" They didn't get their new contracts," said Stan, feeling he had got into a Monty Python film. "And what for? Have you ever seen a thief running away with a stolen lion or rhino?" Trapper smiled, then sprang up and started shouting, running downstairs, his voice gradually getting quieter. "Let's go. Follow me. Mirek is already there. Alone. We must be quick. Do you smoke?" "I grew out of it some time ago." "Then you need to start again," said Trapper, as if he told a joke. They ran into a big room and Stan saw weapons like those displayed in museums and some modern pieces as well. There was a crossbow and a bow with a quiver full of arrows with strong metal heads resembling harpoons, and over 1 meter long sword fitted with a hilt covered with inscription in languages The guard not know. Did it not know. Serrated knives with share-like teeth and a club with several blades sticking out and pointing different directions, as well as an ancient weapon of unknown use. The modern weapons were double-barreled rifle on Bogdan's shoulder, a large bore gun like a 44 Magnum from Dirty Harry featuring Clint Eastwood, a single-barreled shotgun, and boxes of cartridges. Jesus, you've a complete arsenal. Are you ready for the Third World War? I can't believe it. What's going on here? Trapper opened his backpack but put weapons and cartridges into it. Here, take another backpack. Fill it, said Trapper in the highly serious voices of an old man. I will show you how to shoot, but first listen to me. I gonna repeat myself. When the evening approached, I sat on a hair here, but the northern gate. As everyone knows, I often replace Marek. I guard. Working is the area. First of all, I can assure you the animals are not threatened by the high water in the river, but there is something which made our lovely pets, as you call them, behave weird. I know it is. I have already survived once, and I hope they won't not bother me here when I older, but as I can see, the trouble will follow me to different places until the very end. Can you be more specific? Stan did not understand a word. What I hear and see around me seems to be a battle between good and evil in a fucking film. What going here? A 5 minutes ago, up there. I hoped it would not turn to be true. All that my trip to America will be enough, replied Bogdan. I think I have to tell you the truth. I know it won't be easy. The media floods is us with information, and we either don't believe it anything or listen everything they would tell us. There must be someone guiding them, but we are fucking something more serious today. Listen, I am sure you know a story of Frankenstein the monster. Stan nodded. Some 60 kilometers southwest of Wrocław there is a town called Zemkowice Śląskie, situated not far from famous Prussian strongholds in Srebrna Góra, which was not different by Napoleon's army, continued Trapper. In fact, the town was founded at the beginning of the 13th century and carried the name of Frankenstein until the end of World War II. A book titled Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus, written by Mary Shelley about a scientist, and his work is not directly connected with the town. Shelley wrote the book full of admiration for Byron and his style. There's a castle Altauch Rheinet in his town, a legend of plague spreading across the whole of Europe in the 17th century and 18th century, decimating its population, a story of 3 huge fires and wars that cannot be forgotten. During the fires a plague broke out. It was soon discovered groups of grieving helped spirit, the plague, to increase the profits. Ruthlessly they robbed different objects, latches, doors, windows, with infected parts cut of the bodies of dead victims. The culprits were captured on the night attempting to throw dead body pieces into a well. The court's sentence was obvious at the time, to cut Gravagers' parts off. to crush their limbs, to drag them, the horses, until the gates come out from their bellies. Unfortunately, unfortunately, some missing parts from chopped off bodies were never found. Rumor had it they were burned, but I know there was someone who used them for experiments, and believe me, the bodies infected with the Black Death did not harm that person. We paused for a moment to take a breath. We have to mention another vital event that combines that legends. You must have heard about the Crusaders. Yes. The ossified medieval Europe rushed eastward, called in the Pope or to regain the Holy Land in the name of God. The struggle between good and evil is older than the world we live in, but ring then it was significant issue. We only know some basic facts. Countless valuable records are classified and the parts available to the public contained changed and the manipulated description, meaning, and that dates be those who touch they controlled everything. Then the Renaissance and the Reformation followed with the groups of people who wanted to unearth the truth, but they were provided with the dose of misinformation, and that is how New Ages came and went, the new ideas which were later replaced by yet never thinking. The Securite officer brain stopped processing because of the ab abundance of information, and the man had to sit down due to a sudden rise in blood pressure. Noting this, Trapper fetching something to drink. This will help you. Have a smoke too, to reduce the smell of your sweat and fear, said Trapper. Thanks. Shit, this is strong, and I gladly have that smoke now, replied Stan. The long forgotten taste of cigarette smoke affected his taste buds, flew down of his lunch, causing a feeling of satisfaction. By bit, his tongue protruded, trying to catch the last molecules of the magical famous. It's interesting how intensely a hunger gratification can be. The feeling you den denied yourself a long time ago, and now, in such a moment, it can help compensate for the state of mind and body, is calming you down, hushing fears, mastering your body, helping to think a few matters over. Damn it, that's just what I needed. Stan relaxed and smiled. And the drink I gave you is sake, replied Trapper. Let me sum it. Thousands of years ago, people cohabited, cohabited with other nations and powers, which were perceived as gods, elves, devils, angels, put in the Greek myths, legends, fairy tales. Each of them wanted to live and endure, but they were enemies, and it was not clear which side they were, good or evil. Can we blame the animals keep here for being the ether hunters of prey? They were simply created that way by a nature time, and who knows, good or gods, so might even at aliens. He smiled gently. Bogdan. Yes. I Somebody sent me a message. I not be sure who is that. And I tried to on checking who is that. Just one moment. Okay. Okay. So I'm back into reading my book. It's a book, what is name? The Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis. You can buy that book on Amazon. It's available, and you can also reading much more information on my website lucasfrankenstein.com. I am a writer from Poland, but I live in Netherlands, and I published this year that book was translated with Polish version to English, and I prepare small promotion with my books to do itself. Another promotion helped me another organizations in England, United States, and Netherlands, and many other places. So today I reading one chapter of my book. What you can try to understand, I believe that you cannot understand maybe everything because I'm not specially native speaker who can speak in English, but you can always buy the book and try to reading self in English version on or Polish. So it depends what you want. You can buy it that in my website. I repeat, lucasfrankenstein.com, and there is a lot of links when you can buy it, this book version paper or version ebook. So we can back to reading the book. I only checking in the Twitch and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. I use that website because only that website give me a generation with all people on the world who use that application. If I start transmission on Facebook, then see that transmission only the people who like my website, so it's so they know it about that book. I need another groups people who they don't know it. But thank you everyone who coming today and watching this moment and listen. So it was really nice. So I back to the reading the first chapter, the book The Adventures of Browar. Okay, just one moment. Bogdan loaded his gun in the meantime and showed his companion how to reload. Aim and hold the gun while pulling a trigger. What the fuck do I have to aim at? Is there just one object or more? The security guard asked suddenly. Well, yeah, old age has its problems, and I forget to mention the important bits. In short, of the side of God, there were some countries and organizations such as the Holy See and the Vatican in Rome and the Roman Empire, Aztecs, and even early ancient Egypt. They all defended people against evil, but of course there were black sheep among them. The Roman Empire, through its conquests, crossed the border and violated the territories of the powers of darkness, which were worshipped by unaware tribes, often without any access to civilization. The Aztecs would not kill thousands of people on altars every day without a reason. These people were infected by bites or scratches, and they would come alive at midnight to wreak havoc of their herds were not removed. Similarly, the kingdom of pharaohs fought against the demons that, among the other things, seized humans' bodies at night. Today we call it an exorcism. That is why corpses were embalmed after removing the intentions, or cremated by the Vikings, for example, to prevent the power of darkness from reviving the body of a brave warrior. But this knowledge is kept silent. Remember, there is a soul in a body, and revived body has a new proprietor, like a shell of different snail. Each civilization struggled in a specific manner, but as you might know, civilizations were connected in some way, for example by pyramids, through which constructor and rulers communicated. It wasn't Columbus who discovered America. Pyramids were in fact provided with a mysterious structure that made it possible to move from one end of the Earth to another, or maybe even to other planets. It is hard to say who lived there and whether they could have affected those on Earth. Each civilization had its warriors and special forces, just like Crusaders, the Knights Templar, the Order Brothers of the German House of Saint Mary of Jerusalem, Teutonic Knights, Ioannites. Stan simply stared at Trapper. He felt goosebumps forming on his arms and hoped that all he just heard was only in the imagination old of the old fellow. Yeah, it's clear. We religious people know there is good. God. What about evil? Evil. What is it and is hiding in the darkness? You know, the porter Marx is sick. At least he was. He and the director were responsible for acquisition of new animals, and he, as far as I know, was once bitten and scratched by a wolf brought with from Siberia. Several years ago, several years ago, I organized the Rapid Response Forces to fight evil in Poland, and I over 101% sure Marx was infected, and today confirms that. It's midnight. He lives on the other bank on the river. Wildness attracts wildness, and the zoo is full of that. You'll find that out yourself tonight. There is a bit of truth in every film, so listen to what I'm saying, and maybe you'll come out of it alive. Are you telling me? Are you telling me Mark turns into a werewolf at midnight because he was one bitten by a wolf? And what do you mean by the Rapid Response Forces? Said Stan, not believing a word. It was formed ages ago out of the bravest warriors. It went down through the generations. The Crusaders were to stop the spread of evil, including werewolves and other monsters that came from Africa and distant Asia. That is why foolish peasants and villagers who first rushed to the battle were massacred, and in fact helped the enemy spread their forces be becoming infected. You must accept vampires are not just any twaddle. People made a pact with certain clans for the immunity of certain family groups and their subordinates. Prince Dracula fell in love with a vampire and became a vampire himself. centrally to the theories that you might be familiar with. They can reproduce, and Nadia gave birth to his son, a vampire, who beat and transformed the father. Everybody knows him, but not the fact that he the future Dr. Frankenstein, and son of Prince Dracula. I need for voices. For ages the son blamed himself for his father's transformation. Together with the repeat response forces, he looked for a cure for evil. Only several clans know where the prince, and doctors reside now. Victor Frankenstein, who changed his family name not to be associated with his father, used to live in different places, even in the wild areas of the future Republic of Poland, where a city named Frankenstein was established. He scrunched evil weakness and provided the forces with information. Trapper continued his story. He tried to invent a cure of plague when the epidemic broke out, but he had to test it. Sick people were weak and there were no volunteers. He could not experiment on himself, so he decided to create his own human being to experiment on. Well, I know it might seem inhuman, but all inventions happen at the expense of someone or something. He had to leave the city after his servants sleep up. You see now how much is going on, and according to the media, we are well informed. That's crap. As far as Mark is concerned, I've been watching him and the way he's been behaving recently. He does not eat much at work. He stares away from the light. His senses are sharpened. He is able to sense my nose misses, and the animals run away from him as if they can sense malice. There are typical symptoms. I want to talk to him and call our guys, but the director, he don't know what to do it. He said he would take care of it himself, but he is not here. He holds a place in the organization of the fallen angels. He visited other current countries to submit his report of the spreading evil, but believe me, werewolves are not our only concern. I thought he would make it back, but he didn't. So now, discussion, it is now time for action and teamwork. I know this is a lot to take in, but I'm sure you'll manage. Ready? You'll manage. Ready? Ready? Stan kept silent for a while. Everything he experienced, encountered, understood, believed in suddenly became meaningless. Now the only thing that matters was to survive and fight for life. Let me have... Sorry. Yeah. Let me have another smoke. Just one moment. Let me have another smoke and a sip of sake, and let's go. Mirek should be okay in the cold room for a while, but there is wedding after party and the summer, and most likely It finished early, and at his there alone, said Stan, is a shaky voices. Damn it! Let's move. Do not tell anyone about what you heard, but if you anyone stayed there and survived, when you spot wounds, bites, scratched, anything suspicious, then have no mercy. After the transformation, they'll be ruthless. Understand? In this case, the only cures that save those infected is killing them. I have never killed anyone, said Stan, looking terrified. Who knows? Maybe today you're gonna shoot more bullets than Rambo. Don't think about it too much. Now, it's time to go. The old trapper and the security guard, side by side, start to get ready for leaving the office building. The foggy might evaded, the witch evil discussed and its tentacles reaching out. The door opened outward, and the dry haggis crouched fully. They could feel a sudden gust of the cold wind. And here in that places it was the first chapter, Fog, the book, Fantasy, the Adventures of Browar, a descendant of the clan Atlantis, and I'm author of that book, and my name is Lukas Przelaskowski. I'm from Poland, but I live in Netherlands. This moment book is available on Amazon. You can reading much more about book in my website lukasfrankensteinpast.com. So this is all what I want to say to you this moment. If you wanted something asking or to know it much more about my books, you can send a message. We use it social media in my website. So thank you for all persons who coming and listen my book, the chapter part 1. I believe it when you buy the book you understand much better. The book is available in Polish version and English version, in paper version and ebook version. So everyone can buy it that in my Winkel, so it was the name in Ilan's shop. Online, lukasfrankenstein.com, and there is all information about books and links where you can buy the books. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it on Books Google Books, you can buy it or portal in Poland Legimi. You can buy it also in my website Lukas Frankenstein. Thank you for everyone who listened me, and I wish you for all who buy the books nice adventure with Browar. Action happened in 21st century, so you can also go to the places and see it in reality. All places when we have thematic in the books, almost all places, because it's another places it was created in my imagination, of course. So the places with the clans and planets, so this moment it's not available, of course. But so to the end, please share, like, and watch my profiles on social media. Please subscribe my channel on YouTube and on others, like it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and if you like it, you can also share that materials to your friends. Thank you very much for everyone who helped me buy this book, because all cash what I have I can invest in and prepare to another books, and I have it prepared couples. This year I have planning promotion this book, and I planning to promotion in my of course social media, and with a little bit helping with organization from London, and I so I planning also fly to London and England, and I also planning fly to promotion that book to United States, where this moment I prepare all um, yeah, all plans with a lot people, a lot media organization, and yeah, and companies, because it's a long procedure. Prepare to interviewers, to prepare record all materials, and the last etap we have the montage and public, and the time where is that was the public. Okay, so thank you very much for this day. I believe it something little bit, maybe you can understand that what I'm reading. If you're not reading, if you not understand everything, so you can buy it always the book and try to reading self. So I wish a good day, good weekend, because we have this moment Sunday. But someone who be watching that another day, I wish you that day when you be watching that material in movie. And this year, what I have the planning another, yeah, of course, I have planning public another books, but you must everything watching an observation on my chapter, on my channel, on my social media and the website. So one more time, Lukas Trzaskowski, author the book, fantasy book, the Adventures of Browar, Descendant of the Clan Atlantis. You can buy that on Amazon, and you can reading much more information about that book in my website lukasfrankenstein.com. There is an option when you can choose the language what you use it, so it's not problem. You understand that all information what you have. Thank you for the moment when you're spending with me, and we'll see to the next time with another promotion, maybe another chapter when I be reading. Maybe next week. It depends what I have the time. Now I have planning something to do it that day and others. So thank you for all. I wish a good day, and always try to reading something book, because that giving to chance to your imagination and help little bit to survive like me be a writer. Thank you, and I wish a good day.